Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for joining us on this day today. And we continue with the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, 21st verse, chapter. And we wanted to seek everybody's good wishes and blessings so that we can dive into a little bit of the nectar of the 10th Canto. And wanted to seek the good blessings, wonderful blessings of Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada so that we can understand some of what we're going to go through. So this is the 5th verse of the 20th chapter.
Barhapidam natavara vapukarnayo karnikaram Brihad Vasakanakapisham Vaijayantim cha malam Randram Venuradhara Sutya Purayan Gopa Vindaranyam Swapada Ramanam Pravishad Gita Kirti. Wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, blue karnikara flowers on his ears, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, and the Vaijayanti garland, Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers as he entered the forest of Vrindavan, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys sang his glories.
Jai, Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. So this is a little description of the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, when he was in Golok, Goku, or Vrindavan. And we will see how this fits into the chapter. It's such a beautiful description of the Lord. So this chapter is called the Gopis glorified the song of Krishna's flute. So it's the first time really when Krishna's flute is mentioned in some detail. And this chapter describes how Lord Krishna entered the enchanting forest of Vrindavan upon the arrival of autumn and praises the young gopis, the praises the young gopis used to sing about him when they heard this flute of his. So the Vrindavan forest was filled with transparent autumn waters and cooling breezes, perfumed with the fragrance of lotus flowers growing in the clear lakes. As Lord Krishna, Balaram, and the Gopas entered the forest to graze the cows, Krishna began playing his flute. The gopis heard the enchanting flute song and understood that Krishna was entering the forest, wearing, and this is the verse that we read, wearing a peacock feather on his head, blue flowers on his ears, a brilliant golden garment. Krishna showed himself as the best of dancers. Then the gopis narrated to each other the Lord's various activities. So this is like the Venu Gita, which they narrated. So this is Krishna and Balaram. Very beautiful how they enter into the forest. And Krishna used to be dressed in glowing garments of yellow and Balaram in blue. The gopis declared. So this is from verses 7 to 14. To see Lord Krishna playing his flute while taking the cows to pasture is the highest perfection for the eyes and the greatest fortune for the seer. What pious activities has this flute performed that enable him to freely drink the nectar of Sri Krishna's lips? A blessing we cowherd girls find difficult to achieve. So, Karuna, do you want to chant these verses?
Okay, Prabhu.
Oh, fantastic. In that case, let me see if I can find them on here. Very good. Yes. So what was it? 21 and then 7. Not found. Great. 10. Sorry, just getting myself in the middle. Yeah, good. Okay, we found it. So let me share the screen. Okay, number 7 onwards, huh? Brilliant. And is Chitra there? She'd like to read the English?
No, Prabhu, Chicha is not here.
Okay. Or you can read English. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Jayanti will read the English. Thank you, Karuna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Gopya Uchu. Akshanvatam phalamidam na param vidama. Sakya pashun anuviveshayatorvasasyai. Vaktram Vrajesha Sutayor Anavenujushtam Yairvani Pitam Anurakta Katakshamoksham.
The cowherd girls said, "Oh, friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nand are certainly fortunate. As these two sons enter the forest, surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision."
Chuta Pravala Baraha Stabakot Palabja Malanuprikta Paridhana Vichitra Vesha Madhye Vire Jaturalam Pashupalagoshyam Range Yatha Natavaro Kvacha Gayamana.
Dressed in a charming variety of garments upon which the garlands rest, and decorating themselves with peacock feathers, lotuses, lilies, newly grown mango sprouts, and clusters of flower buds, Krishna and Balaram shine forth magnificently among the assembly of cowherd boys. They look just like the best of dancers appearing on a dramatic stage, and sometimes they sing.
Mhm.
Gopya kimacharadayam kushalam smavenur damodaradhara sudhamapi gopikana bhunte swayam yadavashishtarasam hridinyo rishyatvachoshtrumumuchustarabu Yatharya.
My dear gopis, what auspicious activities must the flute have performed to enjoy the nectar of Krishna's lips independently and leave only a taste for us gopis, for whom that nectar is actually meant. The forefathers of the flute, the bamboo trees, shed tears of pleasure. His mother, the river on whose bank the bamboo was born, feels jubilation, and therefore her blooming lotus flowers are standing like hair on her body.
Vrindavanam sakhi bhuvo vitanoti kirtim Yaddevaki sutapadambu jalabdhalakshmi Govinda venu manumatamayuranrityam Prekshyadrasanvaratanya samastasatvam.
Oh, friend, Vrindavan is spreading the glory of the earth, having obtained the treasure of the lotus feet of Krishna, the son of Devaki. The peacocks dance madly when they hear Govinda's flute, and when other creatures see them from the hilltops, they all become stunned.
धन्यास्ममोधगतयोऽपि हरिण्ययेता यानन्दनन्दनमुपात विचित्रवेषम् आकर्ण्यवेणुरनितं सह कृष्णसारा पूजां दधुर्विरचितां प्रणयावलोकये.
Blessed are all these foolish deer, because they have approached Maharaj Nand's son, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Indeed, both the doe and the bucks worship the Lord with looks of love and affection.
कृष्णं निरीक्ष्य वनितोत्सवरूपशीलम् श्रुत्वा च तत्क्वनितवेणुविविक्तगीतम् देव्यो विमानगतय स्मरनूनसारा भ्रश्यत्प्रशूनकबरा मुमुहुर्विनिव्य.
Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for all women. Indeed, when the demigod's wives, flying in airplanes with the husbands, catch sight of him and hear his resonant flute song, their hearts are shaken by Cupid. They become so bewildered that the flowers fall out of their hair and their belts loosen.
गावश्च कृष्णमुखनिर्गतवेणुगीत पीयूषमुत्तबितकर्णपुतैर्पिबन्त्या शावास्नुतस्तनपय कवलास्मतस्थुल् गोविन्दमात्मनिदृशाश्रुकला स्पृशन्त्य.
Using their upraised ears as vessels, the cows are drinking the nectar of the flute song flowing out of Krishna's mouth. The calves, their mouths full of milk from their mother's moist nipples, stand still as they take Govinda within themselves through their tear-filled eyes and embrace him within their hearts.
प्रायो बताम्बविहगामुनयो वनेऽस्मिन् कृष्णे क्षितं तदुत्थितं कलवेणुगीतम् आरोह्य ये द्रुमभुजान् रुचिरप्रवालान् शृण्वन्ति मीलितदृशो विगतान्यवाचा.
O mother, in this forest all the birds have risen onto the beautiful branches of the trees to see Krishna. With closed eyes, they are simply listening in silence to the sweet vibrations of his flute. They are not attracted by any other sound. Surely these birds are on the same level as great sages.
नद्यस्तदा तदुपधार्य मुकुन्दगीतम् आवर्तलक्षितमनोभवभग्नवेगा आलिङ्गनस्थगितं मूर्मि भुजैर्मुरारे गृह्णन्ति पादयुगलं कमलोपहारा.
When the rivers hear the flute song of Krishna, their minds begin to desire him, and thus the flow of their currents is broken and the waters are agitated, moving around in whirlpools. Then, with the arms of the waves, the rivers embrace Murari's lotus feet and, holding on to them, present offerings of lotus flowers.
दृष्ट्वा तपे व्रजपशुं सह रामगोपै सञ्चारयन्तमनुवेणुमि धीरयन्तम् प्रेम प्रवृत्तौदितकुसुमावलिभिः सख्युर्व्यधात् स्ववपुषाम्बुद आतपत्र Vichitram.
In the company of Balram and the cowherd boys, Lord Krishna is continually vibrating his flute as he herds all the animals of Braj, even under the full heat of the summer sun. Saying this, the cloud in the sky has expanded himself out of love. He is rising high and constructing out of his own body, with its multitude of flower-like droplets of water, an umbrella for the sake of his friend.
Purna Pulindya Urugaya Padabjaraga Shri Kumkumena Daita Sanamanditena Taddarshana Smararujastrinarushitena Limpantya Anana Kucheshu Jahustadadim.
The Aborigine women of the Vrindavan area become disturbed by lust when they see the grass marked with reddish kumkum powder, endowed with the color of Krishna's lotus feet. This powder originally decorated the breasts of his beloved, and when the Aborigine women smear it on the faces and breasts, they feel fully satisfied and give up all their anxiety.
Hantaya Madrira Bala Haridasa Varyo Yat Rama Krishna Charana Sparasha Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayostayoryat Paniya Suyavasa Kandara Kadamule.
Of all the devotees, this Govardhan hill is the best. Oh, my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balram, along with the calves, cows, and cowherd friends, with all kinds of necessities: water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respects to the Lord. Being touched by his lotus feet of Krishna and Balram, Govardhan hill appears very jubilant.
Gagopakairanuphanam nayatorudara Venu swanai kalapadaistanu brikshu sakya Aspandanam gatimatam pulakastarunam Niryoga pashakrita lakshanayor vichitram.
My dear friends, as Krishna and Balaram pass through the forest with their cowherd friends leading the cows, they carry ropes to bind the cows' rear legs at the time of milking. When Lord Krishna plays on his flute, the sweet music causes the moving living entities to become stunned and non-moving trees to tremble with ecstasy. These things are certainly very wonderful.
Jai, well done, Karuna. Beautifully chanted, and a different tune from what we used to. So well done.
Yeah, I got that from YouTube as usual. There was an amazing singer, Krishna Das Nayak from Pushti Vrund.
Okay.
Pushti Marg. I don't know what it is really, but it's very nice. I love this tune.
Yeah, you did amazing, actually. Thank you so much.
I didn't want it to end.
Yeah, this is amazing, actually. We never thought we'd ever be able to do something like this, or rather hear something and participate in it. So thank you so much. Fantastic.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the service. It's so lovely doing all these.
Yeah, well done. So just on this flute, a few nice points. My dear friend, we cannot even think. So we read this verse. It's amazing to read this again and again of his bamboo flute. What sort of pious activities did it execute so that it is now enjoying the nectar of the lips of Krishna? How is it possible that the flute, which is nothing but a bamboo rod, this is the gopis getting a bit angry, is always engaged in enjoying the nectar from Krishna's flute? Lips, sorry. because the flute is engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, the mother and the father of the flute must be very happy. So it's a really nice meditation. And dressed in such an attractive way, he fills up the halls of the flute with the nectar emanating from his lips. So the gopis remember him entering the forest of Vrindavan, which is always glorified by the footprints of Krishna and his companions. This is a really nice meditation to have early in the morning when we're chanting. It's something that we can perhaps meditate on a little bit. Krishna is very expert in playing the flute. Gopis were captivated by the sound vibration. When Govind plays the flute, the peacocks immediately become mad. When all the animals and trees and plants, either on the top of Golden Hill or in the valley, see the dancing of the peacock, they all stand still and listen to the transcendental sound of the flute with great attention. So this playing of the flute is no ordinary event. It's one of the items actually that distinguishes even Krishna from Lord Vishnu. So he's the best flute player, even more than anybody else. And why does Krishna play the flute? Rupa Goswami explains Krishna loves to play the flute because he loves to enjoy. Krishna uses his flute to smack his friends sometimes, especially his friend Vishal. Sometimes he plays the flute in a way to make the demons dizzy, make them dance in a funny way. He calls the cows in groups by various tunes from the flute. Sometimes the cows don't come because they want to hear their name spoken by the Lord. But when he plays the flutes, according to the different notes, different groups of cows come to him. They know they're being called by Krishna. So his flute has quite a function. Krishna would play on any of his flutes, and he's got a few types. We'll see that in a little while when they're needed. And Krishna used the Venu flute to attract the gopis. Venam kwanantam haravindam dalayataksam varhavatam
Vatam samasitam budasundarangam Kandarpa koti kamaniya vishesha shobham Govindamari purusham Maham bhajami.
Well done, Rianj. Fantastic. So there he is in the corner there, or on the side, playing his flute, and the gopis go crazy.
They're running to him.
They're running to him, yeah, in the middle of the night, leaving everything behind. This will come to in a few chapters' time. Krishna would use the flute for many reasons: playing, pleasing, reciprocating, calling, pacifying his devotees. So different times of the day, morning time, he would play the flute in a fully excited way as they're going to the forest with the gopis and the cows. Gopas and the cows, sorry, yeah, thank you. And this is it. He's very excited at that time because they're going to be playing and enjoying. And the gopis are very sad because they're not going to see Krishna all day long. And it's excited because they'll be playing and enjoying pastimes and leelas with his Gopa friends. In the afternoon, in the forest, Krishna would play to reciprocate with the plants, the trees, the birds, the animals, letting them know he has noticed them and he loves them all. Everything becomes stunned when he's playing. And even rivers like the Yamuna flow backwards when he's playing his flute. So he's playing for the pleasure of his friends and the trees and the cows and the animals. This is a really nice picture. If you see the water, they're all trying to touch his lotus feet. Everybody's so mesmerized. And in the evening, Krishna plays happily because the Brajavasis are looking forward to seeing him. But it's sad for the forest, sad for the Gopas because they're not going to see him all night. But the gopis become really joyful and happy. Krishna was so attracted to the sound of his flute playing that he would often climb a tree and play to himself. The sound is so attractive, it attracts the all attractive. Krishna initiated Lord Brahma to create the universe through the flute, playing of the flute. Krishna performs a concert in front of the Brijabasis. Often in the evening, he used to do a one-man show playing this flute, a concert for the pleasure of the Brijabasis. The flute has 6 holes and is free from the 6 anarthas: lust, anger, greed, attachment, envy, pride. When we also become free from the 6 anarthas, Krishna will also play us like a flute, which is the aim of our lives. Please, my dear Lord, do as you like with me. Let me serve you. Let me do something for you, my dear Lord.
Prabhuji, did you show any photos?
I did, yeah. Here,
Quite a few.
have you seen these? This one? Krishna's coming back in the evening.
No, Prabhuji.
And then this one, the gopis want to just become close to that darling son of Yashoda. Krishna yeah, we've done this one. Yeah. Krishna is, the flute is straightforward. What goes in comes out. It's very interesting. One day, so what happened? Why is this flute receiving this mercy? One day, Krishna rushed in the garden, very alarmed. He went to the bamboo plant and he said, I have something to ask you, but it's very difficult. The bamboo said, tell me, if I can, I will give it to you. So Krishna said, I need your life. I need to cut you. Oh, bamboo thought for a while. He said, you don't have any other choice? You don't have any other way? Krishna said, no, no other way. So bamboo said, okay, if that's what you want. So Krishna cut the bamboo, made holes in it. And each time while he was doing that, the bamboo was crying with pain. Krishna made a beautiful flute out of it. And this flute was with Krishna all the time. Even the gopis were jealous of the flute. They said, look, Krishna is our Lord, and yet we get to spend only some time with him. He wakes up with you, the flute, he sleeps with you all the time. You're with him. So one day they asked the bamboo, tell us your secret. What secret do you have that the Lord treasures you so much, even though there's nothing attractive about you? You're just a piece of bamboo. The bamboo said, yes, you're right. I have no attractive features. I can't even create music. It's the player who does it. But the secret is that I am empty inside of any ego and have a purified mind and allow the Lord to do whatever he wants with me. I'm surrendered to him. This is a simple thing, but it's not so easy to put into practice. But even the plain ordinary bamboo gets so close to Krishna. Krishna is so kind. Just we have to have no ego. Purified mind helps. Krishna has different flutes and he plays different melodies for different purposes. Mainly there are 3 kinds of flutes used by Krishna. So this is from the Nectar of Devotion, Upadeshamrit. There's a Venu. This is a very small, not more than 6 inches long with 6 holes for whistling. There's a Murli, about 18 inches long with a hole at the end and 4 holes on the body of the flute. There's the Vamsi. The Vamsi flute is 15 inches long with 9 holes on its body. These flutes were sometimes decked with jewels. Sometimes they were made of marble, sometimes of hollow bamboo. When the flute is made of jewels, it is called Samohini. When it's gold, it's called Akashini. The flute goes everywhere at Krishna. Even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, Srila Prabhupada explained, Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Flute came as the Madanga. Flute sound comes as Maha Mantra as well, the Hare Krishna movement. So that's a little idea of the flute.
Prabhuji, can you go to the previous slide?
Oh, yeah. This one?
Oh, Prabhuji, before that.
This one? The different flute.
Prabhuji, can you show the next slide?
This one?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, you can know.
So this comes from Krishna's lips, the Maha Mantra, through the flute. The Maha Mantra is very close to Krishna. So that's why we chant it all the time. So continuing with the Bhagavatam and the 21st chapter, hearing the song of Krishna's flute, the peacocks dance madly and all the other creatures become stunned when they see them. Demigoddesses travel through the sky in the airplanes, are waxed by Cupid, and their garments become loose. The ears of the cows stand on end as they drink the nectar of this flute song, and their calves simply stand stunned. The milk they have been drinking from their mothers' udders still in their mouths. The birds take shelter of the branches of the trees and close their eyes, listening to the song of Krishna's flute with rapt attention. Surely these birds are on the same level as great sages. And then the last few verses, Govardhan Hill is described. The flowing rivers become perturbed by conjugal attraction for Krishna, and stopping their flow, embrace Krishna's lotus feet with the arms of their waves, while the clouds serve as perossis to shade Krishna's head from the hot sun. The Aborigine women of the Sahara race, seeing the grass stained by the red kumkum adorning the Lord's lotus feet, smear this vermilion powder upon their breasts and faces to alleviate the distress created by Cupid. Govardhan Hill offers grass, various kinds of fruits, and bulbous roots in worship of Lord Sri Krishna. Of all the devotees, this Govardhan Hill is the best. Being touched by lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, Govardhan Hill appears very jubilant. As he plays on his flute, all the non-moving living beings take on the characteristics of moving creatures, and then the moving living beings become stationary. These things are all very wonderful. So this is chapter 21, when Krishna was engaged in tending the cows in the forest of Vrindavan or on Govardhan Hill. The gopis in the village were always absorbed in thinking of him, discussing his different pastimes. This is the perfect example of Krishna consciousness, somehow or other, always engrossed in thoughts of Krishna. So this Venu Gita is such an amazing song, really gives so much nectar about Krishna and his pastimes. So that's the end of chapter 21. Any questions or comments? I was thinking actually we probably should stop there because this chapter, next one is going to take some time. Yeah, let's stop there because the next one will take time. We can do chapter 21, 22 tomorrow. Better to do it slowly and surely rather than rush through it. So, Madhusudan Prabhu, would you like to go through the instructions?
I think it's getting.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah, Haribol, can you hear me all right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, so this new headphones, I didn't know whether it would work or not.
No problem, no problem.
No, well, I've got, we can do this tomorrow. Well, it's still chapter 21 then.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We probably do a couple of chapters
is,
tomorrow. Yeah, go for it, go for it.
Yeah, so chapter 21, then in the purport of to verse 12, in fact, that verse 12 is quite amazing. So Prabhupada comments that this verse indicates that the transcendental sound of the flute that we will be of Krishna is extended to all corners of the universe. So it reaches everywhere, you know, when Krishna is playing the flute. And also it is significant that the gopis knew about the different kinds of airplanes flying in the sky. So they're referring to the demigoddesses who also get affected by Krishna's flute. So, and then the gopis are kind of praising that in one sense, but in one sense they're saying that, you know, they're envious that the demigods themselves take the demigoddesses to Krishna, whereas their husbands kind of are envious, you know. But the gopis' description of Krishna's flute playing is amazing, as further comments of Srila Prabhupada reflects on the musical talent itself as more than art. So even Indra, Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu, being primordial gods, travel throughout the universe and have extensive knowledge of the science of music. So we know that even what's his name, Narad Muni goes with his veena and he's singing all the time, and there's so much talent in the music. And yet even these great personalities have never heard or composed music like that, which emanates from Krishna's flute. So it's just Krishna's flute is amazing, actually. You can mesmerize everyone. We've yet to hear it someday, but maybe he's playing it through the Hare Krishna mantra, and we're going to stay with it and chant, and that's so. Yeah, it's glories to the flute.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Hare Krishna. Very nice, very good, very good. And like we're going through this Venu Gita and these pastimes. We're actually participating in these pastimes as well with the flute. Even we may not be able to hear, but at least we're getting some of the nectar, and it is amazing. Actually, we're very, very fortunate, I have to say. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions or any comments before we move on to Nishinga Kavach?
In fact, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam and everything, and all verses in Sanskrit, they're all actually sung, aren't they?
Yes,
There's a
right.
certain meter to which they all sing. So it's like a beautiful song coming out of Krishna's flute, actually.
Yeah.
All the Vedas, actually.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because that's how Lord Brahma got initiated, isn't it? Through the flute.
Yeah, that's right. And all the Vedas, like even this Karunabandha, she beautifully sang that part, Venu Gita, and all these are actually Sanskrit is all a very melodious. Even when you see the Brahmins doing the mantras and the chanting and Havan, Yagya and all that, they're all just so melodious and so singing. There's all different kind of melodies to it and rhythms, and so yeah, just got to enjoy the melody.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay. So